Hello, everyone. I am Falguni, and you're listening to the Epilepsy Insights podcast, where we aim to bring stories and insights from scientists, researchers, common people, and people with epilepsy. This episode is produced by I Am Cure. Today, we are privileged to have with us Preeti Singh as our guest. Preeti is an award winning author and epilepsy warrior from India who has lived with epilepsy since the age of 2. Despite facing several challenges, including living with epilepsy, Preeti has used her writing to motivate others and advocate for issues close to her heart. As an epilepsy warrior and advocate, she has committed herself to increasing awareness about the condition and empowering others to live their lives on their own terms. Her determination and bravery are truly inspiring. We are delighted to have you on our podcast. Welcome again.
Thank you so much, Falguni. Thank you so much. And I'm very excited to be on your show. And I'm really charged up to it's become my passion and my mission, like you can say, to make people aware about epilepsy, which is also called Mirgi in Hindi. Yes.
So to begin with, you started your journey as a writer. You have authored several award-winning novels. And you're also an active epilepsy advocate and a podcast host yourself. Can you walk us through the entire journey, the entire process of how it all happened, and how has this journey been like for you?
Well, Falguni, it's never an easy journey for an epilepsy warrior. Like, I'm sure so many epilepsy warriors are hearing this and seeing this show. I was dropped as a baby when I was 2 years old by a nurse accidentally, and I got a head injury. And as I was told by my family members, and since then, I've had seizures. And so I was always drowsy in school and I was sluggish, which most epilepsy warriors are due to the side effects, medications. And when I was about 15 years old, I was molested by my tutor. And then the journey of my stammering begins. Even now, while I'm talking to you, you will notice I'm stammering a little bit. So that trauma never really went away. And I somehow, the school also, the stigma in 70s used to be so high. The parents used to say, "Is ladki ke saath nahi khelna, isko mirgi hai." I mean, they considered it kind of an untouchable kind of a disease, So, but then and I was always very poor in my grades. I was always a backbencher. So I was very I could never cope up with my studies because I was so sleepy and drugged all the time. And most of the warriors will be able to relate with me. So it's always bahut dheere dheere. We are kind of, the medications are so strong. We are so slow in everything. And marriage happened. And luckily when you're there's a myth which all epilepsy warriors must listen to me, that we are pregnant, we cannot have babies. Aisa kuch nahi hai. You must have your medications and you can have a normal baby, you can have normal deliveries, but you must be under the guidance of a neurologist and a gynecologist. So wo bhi maine bhi kiya, and luckily my daughter is a doctor now. She's an organ transplant surgeon in America. And so I had a very normal pregnancy. But yes, it has to be properly monitored ताकि आपका pregnancy ठीक हो जाए. So after my pregnancy, after my delivery, another unfortunate incident happened. During my seizures also, I was almost molested by my domestic servant. तो वो भी एक trauma था मेरी life में. मतलब इमेजिन देखो कि यू आर अ यंग लेडी योरसेल्फ. नॉर्मल मोलेस्टेशंस तो होते हैं, इट कैन ट्रॉमेटाइज एनी गर्ल, बट बीइंग मोलेस्टेड ड्यूरिंग अ सीजर इज कैन बी, यू आर नॉट इन अ कंडीशन, यू नॉट इन होश में नहीं हो, और तुम्हारी उस कंडीशन में कोई आदमी तुमको रेप करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. इट कैन बी सो ट्रॉमेटाइजिंग. सो आई हैड टू रियली ओवरकम दैट ऑल्सो. And it's not only girls, it is also boys who are epilepsy warriors who are also sexually molested during seizures. And I'd like to mention, I have written this book of mine, Epilepsy Butterflies, and it is available on Amazon and it is also available on anybody wants signed copies from me. And in this book, there is a warrior. His name is Rahul, and he has mentioned how he was also sexually abused during his school days. So
Okay.
it is people, warriors have come out and they have spoken. So you need to be little, they have come out and spoken because they also want to share the experiences. People are brave, they share. And it has not been an easy journey. And now at the age of 40, I have realized, because I lost a friend's son due to epilepsy. So I am 51 now. And I thought कि अभी टाइम हो गया, मेरे पास डिजीज भी है, मेरे पास टैलेंट भी है, तो मैं लोगों को बता दूं. I wrote the book before I pass away, before I die due to any unfortunate. It's not due to epilepsy. People, I don't want to scare anybody. जरूरी नहीं कि epilepsy से death हो, but death happens anytime. So before I pass away, I better tell everybody. I want to create awareness. I started campaigns. I started educating people. I started creating awareness. So please wake up. ये कोई भूत प्रेत नहीं है. माता नहीं आ गई है हमें. जब it is like any normal brain disorder. It can be like you can have cancer, you have diabetes, you have heart disease. Similarly, you have epilepsy. Just have to take medicine and you may get, it can be controlled. So please wake up. And if you have any family members or friends who have epilepsy, please do not, I request you, please do not abandon them. It can really, we lose our self-confidence. So it is not been an easy journey, but yet we are warriors.
That's so inspiring to hear, And with continuation to that, I'm coming to my next question. How can, family members and friends of people with epilepsy best support them? And as you are a mother yourself, as a mother living with epilepsy, how have you dealt with challenges that come along the way?
I've been a single mother. I got divorced. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't easy. My daughter literally brought me up. And whenever I used to have seizures, she used to look after me. My father, I was living with my father. So, आसान नहीं था, पर मुश्किल, नामुमकिन भी नहीं है. So, there are many epileptic mothers. There are children. There are children who are epileptics and their parents looking after them. And friends, मोस्ट बेस्ट थिंग फैमिली मेंबर्स कर सकते हैं कि हमको और स्ट्रेस ना दें. क्योंकि स्ट्रेस, टेंशन होती है, स्ट्रेस होता है, तो वो इजी रेसिपी है सीजर आने का. बिकॉज सीजर्स हैपन ड्यू टू द ब्रेन. देयर इज इलेक्ट्रिक एक्टिविटी हैपनिंग इन द ब्रेन. और फिर टेंशन होता है, स्ट्रेस होता है, मेडिसिन मिस होता है, और फिर सीजर तो पक्का पक्का आएगा. सो अगर आप फैमिली मेंबर्स हैं, आप if you care for your epileptic family members, तो please stress मत दीजिए. Sleep is very important. It's very important we do not miss our medicines. मेरे फादर ने मुझे बचपन में सिखाया था. ही इज एन आर्मी ऑफिसर, भी रिटायर्ड हैं, बहुत ओल्ड हो गए हैं. उन्होंने सिखाया था मुझे बचपन में कि मेडिसिन कभी मिस नहीं करनी है. जब भी ट्रैवल भी करो, अगर कहीं पानी नहीं मिल रहा है, हम लोग बस में ट्रैवल करते थे, ट्रेन में ट्रैवल करते थे, जगह से जगह जाते थे, वो बोलते थे अगर पानी भी ना मिला तो अपने थूक से पी लो, दवाई थूक से खा लो, पर मेडिसिन नहीं मिस करनी. मेडिसिन मिस कर लिया, you will have a seizure. Doctors also say you're not supposed to miss your medicine at all. So family members should take care कि even when you're going out of the house, in your purse, in your wallet, your ID card should be there with your name, your address. जैसे केजी में हम पहन के जाते थे, अपना name, address, in your wallet, in your purse, ID cards need to be there with your name, your address, everything, because seizure can happen anytime, anywhere. It can happen on the road. I've had seizures on the road, on the railway station, at the bus station, at the airport. I've had seizures everywhere. It can happen to any epilepsy warrior anytime. So you have to be prepared. So also do not lock your mobile. If some good person, suppose you, Falguni, you want to help me. You cannot help me if my mobile is locked. If I put a design on my mobile, if my mobile is locked, you want to call my daughter. You cannot help me if it is locked. So you want to, a seizure is happening and you want to contact my family, but there's a problem and you don't know what to do. Similarly, family and friends, emergency में नंबर तो होते हैं, but sometimes जैसे मैं सपोज एपिलेप्सी वॉरियर एपिलेप्टिक नहीं थी, पर मैं टेक सेवी नहीं हूं, मुझे मोबाइल चलाना नहीं आता है, तो मैं कैसे कॉल करूंगी किसी को? हर एवरीबडी टेक सेवी नहीं होता है, मुझे मोबाइल का लॉक खोलना भी नहीं आता है, तो मैं हाउ विल आई ऑपरेट, हाउ विल आई कॉल somebody who's having a seizure? How will I call their family members? So it is very, very important for epilepsy warriors. ये छोटे छोटे टिप्स बहुत जरूरी हैं ताकि हम लोग केयरफुल रहे, हम लोग अपना ध्यान पहले रखें. वो दिखाते ना फ्लाइट में ऑक्सीजन मास्क पहले गिरता है, हमने पहले अपना ध्यान खुद रखना है. वी आर यस, हम अगर बच्चे हैं, पर हम लोग अभी बच्चे, हम उनके वॉलेट में, उनके बैग में, मेरी मम्मी हमेशा डालती थी बैग में आईडी कार्ड होता है. स्कूल में भी टीचर्स को बताती थी, इस बच्चे को, मेरी डॉटर को पीटी नहीं करने देना, धूप में कहीं करने देना, अदरवाइज वी आर लीडिंग वेरी नॉर्मल लाइफ्स. पर थोड़े प्रिकॉशंस होते हैं. जैसे डायबिटिक्स को बोलते मीठा नहीं खाना है, सिमिलरली हमको भी थोड़े थोड़े प्रिकॉशंस करने होते हैं. एंड फैमिली मेंबर्स को बोला जाता है कि अभी हमारे रूम में हीटर नहीं रखना है, कोई शार्प ऑब्जेक्ट्स नहीं होने हैं, सो दैट वी कैन, इवन इफ वी हैव अ सीजर, वी डू नॉट, इवन इफ वी फॉल, वी डू नॉट इंजर आवरसेल्व्स. जैसे मैं जब नहाने जाती हूँ, आई डू नॉट लॉक माई डोर फ्रॉम इनसाइड. इवन इफ आई हैव अ सीजर, anybody can enter the room and get me out. It has happened two times I've had a seizure in the toilet, so my family members could get me out. So these are small precautions you need to take. So that is the support of the family members.
Yeah, I guess those tips would be very helpful to all the listeners out there and people who are suffering from epilepsy. So, moving on, for someone who is newly diagnosed with epilepsy and उन्हें अभी-अभी पता चला है कि उन्हें epilepsy है, there is certain kind of anxiety associated with it, like you said, कि लोग घबरा जाते हैं, tension होती है.
Yes.
What advice would you give to someone, and are there any resources that you would recommend for them?
See, I know it can be a shock. Initially, it would be a shock. Firstly, it would be an initial shock that what? I've got epilepsy. It's like suddenly you've discovered that you've got cancer, right? It can be a tremendous shock. Your life can turn upside down, right? You're in the peak of your career, and you got suddenly diagnosed with epilepsy. First is the social stigma. Oh my God, इसको तो माता आ जाएगी, इसको ये हो जाएगा. The relatives, the people don't leave you, right? But the first step to any treatment of any disease is acceptance. You have to start accepting that you have a problem.
Right.
And now, first accept it, that yes, you have a problem. Now you have to deal with it. You have a problem. अब इसको कैसे ठीक करना है? अब इसको कैसे कंट्रोल करना है? We start accepting it. Dhire dhire, after that we find solutions. And there are doctors, neurologists are available. In your vicinity, in your town, go to the right neurologist. Do not go to Bhoot Pret, Mata Baba, this Baba, that Baba, Juta Sunghao, Sok Sunghao. No. Rishikesh Jao, Machli, all that is bullshit. All that is nonsense. No, please do not do that. So, some people take, हम लोग दवाइयाँ खा लेंगे, 2 साल के बाद हम लोग ठीक हो जाएंगे, डॉक्टर अपने आप दवाई खत्म कर लेंगे. Please do not do that. Do not stop your medications without the advice of a doctor. People say हमको 1-2 सीजन आ गए, अब नहीं आएंगे, now we will start driving. And do not drive. Even if you feel एक सीजन आ गया, आप 15 दिन के बाद नहीं आएगा, तो I will start driving. When you are driving, you are अपनी भी जान रिस्क पे डाल रहे हो, किसी और इनोसेंट पर्सन जो ड्राइव कर रहा है रोड पर उसकी भी जान रिस्क पे डाल रहे हो. ही पर्सन इज गोइंग एंड कपल इज गोइंग विद ए बेबी, an old person is going on the road, you can have a seizure and you can kill them. You are not supposed to drive if you have epilepsy, if it's the your nerves are not in your control. You can have a seizure anytime. And if you have been diagnosed with epilepsy, please accept it. You have a problem. You have to take it in. You have to accept it. You have to find the diagnosis. You have to find there are about 40 plus types of seizures. There are 40 plus types of which maybe it is very minor, maybe it is very major. You need to go to the doctor, the right doctor, the neurologist. He will tell you. घबराना नहीं है. हर I would advise हर एपिलेप्सी पेशेंट के अंदर एक, अगर भगवान ने आपको एक एपिलेप्सी दी है तो आपको 4 टैलेंट भी दिए होंगे. उन टैलेंट को निकालो. Focus on the talents. Don't make epilepsy your life. Oh my God, and sulk and get depressed. हो गया तो हो गया ना, कोई बात नहीं, देखी जाएगी. Focus on the talents. Hone on your talents. Make your talents so big. Make your talents, your life so big that it's like BP medicine. We take a BP medicine every day. Fine. But you don't stop living your life. And you make epilepsy, don't make epilepsy so small that your life becomes so large. Epilepsy is so minute. Make it so minute. You have to defeat epilepsy. Don't let it win over you. इसको इतना अपने ऊपर हावी मत होने दो. Make it don't let it consume you completely. That's what I would suggest to everybody.
Okay. So, what message would you like to share with the wider community about epilepsy? And why is it important to raise awareness about this condition? And especially in a country like India, where there is a lot of stigma, and जैसे कि आपने कहा, माता आ जाना और ये सारे शब्द associate किए जाते हैं. What is the message that you would like to share?
Falguni, it's very important because I have met people from the elite society also, from educated elite people who do not know even the meaning of that epilepsy and mirgi is the same thing. Educated people do not know. I am surprised because I was in a shop the other day. There was a merchant navy officer standing there, and I was buying my dog. I have a dog whom I've adopted, and he's also got epilepsy because he was abandoned. So I was in this dog shop, and I was buying medication for him. So this merchant navy officer asked me, "Why are you buying this medication?" I said, "My dog has epilepsy." He says, "What is that?" The man has roamed around the world, and he didn't know what is epilepsy. And I was surprised. So I told to give him my number, and I said, "Let me educate you." People know what is cancer. Cancer हिंदी में भी पता है, इंग्लिश में भी पता है, पर लोगों को पता ही नहीं कि एपिलेप्सी क्या है. It is so important to create awareness, which is why I started my Spotify channel. I've started podcasting in Hindi. Because when you go to Spotify, when you go to Apple, when you go to Amazon Music and you type epilepsy, there only people are speaking in English about epilepsy. There is nobody speaking in Hindi about epilepsy, mirgi. So I started speaking in Hindi on twice a week for 5-10 minutes. I'm speaking in Hindi about epilepsy. It is called Epilepsy की आवाज प्रीति सिंह के साथ, ताकि जो आम आदमी है वो जान सके कि एपिलेप्सी क्या है, मिर्गी क्या है. सो कम्युनिटी लोगों को पता होना चाहिए मिर्गी क्या है. हमारे अंदर कोई माता नहीं आती है. हम लोग बहुत नॉर्मल लोग हैं. हम 2 मिनट ले गिर जाते हैं, हमें ऐसे ऐसे शेक करते हैं, फिर उस 2 मिनट के बाद हम खड़े हो जाते हैं, नॉर्मल हो जाते हैं. वी आर फाइन. It is just like a heart attack coming. Maybe a heart attack will come. उसमें लोग क्यों नहीं बोलते माता आती है? It is where awareness is so important. People think this is some kind of a devil has entering us. No, no devil. I'm still fine. I'm looking very nice and beautiful and hot in front of you. There's no devil entering me. Nothing like that happens to us. We are absolutely normal people. So it's very like whenever I take a cab, it happened to me once. I was taking, I had to go from a book launch from Chandigarh to Ludhiana. And I was so nervous because there was tension. Usually tension, stress, and excitement causes a seizure. So in the cab, I had a seizure. And the cab chap said, Mata Agi, Mata Agi. He left me in his cab on the highway. He left the cab also and he ran away. The police had to get me back home because I had my ID card. The fear of sitting in a cab was in me for 2 years. I could never sit in a cab again. But then there's a friend of mine. He told me, Dar ke aage jeet hai. Get into the cab again. So I started getting into the cab again. But now when I sit in the cab, I always educate the cab chap. I said, भैया आपको पता है मिर्गी क्या है? आपको पता है, first I ask him, आपको पता है epilepsy क्या है? He says नहीं. I said, आपको पता है मिर्गी क्या है? He says नहीं. I said, आपको पता है दौरे क्या है? He says हाँ. They don't know मिर्गी also. I said, आपको पता है दौरे ऐसे ऐसे आता है? He said हाँ madam. Then I start throughout the 40 minutes or 10-minute journey, I do bug about epilepsy. ऐसे मुझे पढ़ते हैं, ये मेरा नंबर है, माता नहीं आती मुझको. So I talk like Basanti on the entire journey, and I bug and I educate them. It is my mission now, wherever I meet anybody, wherever I talk to anybody, I just talk about epilepsy. कहीं ना कहीं वो दो आदमी से जाके बात करेगा, शायद कुछ अवेयरनेस हो जाए, शायद किसी को बोल दे कि भाई माता नहीं आती. We need to spread awareness at the grassroots level. At the grassroots level, among the local, among the shopkeepers, among this level, which is why we've translated my epilepsy book into Hindi. And I hope with time I'll be able to translate into other languages. That's my aim. And I'm just hoping some director makes a movie on epilepsy. I'm just hoping. It's not at the end of my podcast, I always say Jai Hind. Because it's not a national problem, but I hope it becomes a national problem someday. It's recognized as a national problem.
Yeah. I definitely agree to that. And I think it's high time that Bollywood makes a mainstream movie so
Yes.
that it reaches the wide audience.
Govinda has epilepsy. He's posted it somewhere. That Dangal girl has epilepsy. She has acknowledged it.
Okay.
But they don't want to declare it. They don't want to declare it so openly because their fan following will go down. But you see Bollywood, Napoleon Bonaparte, Enid Blyton, all these people, two of the presidents, American presidents, they all had epilepsy. So people, when you just Google the famous people with epilepsy, entire Bollywood, entire Hollywood, you will get such a long list. But in India, the stigma is so deep.
So I think there's a lot to learn from you, and even the fellow epilepsy warriors who would be listening to this can actually learn that particular incident that you shared with the cab driver. तो जैसे कोई भी ऐसे बाहर जा रहा है, they can start educating people so that people get more aware. So that's a very great idea. Okay, so
yes, I just hope you just pass on the message. It's like a candle passing on. Yes.
yeah, true. So looking ahead, what are your future plans and goals now, and how do you hope to continue supporting and encouraging people with epilepsy?
I honestly don't have neither the brains nor the funds to open up an NGO or something, but I just hope in Punjab I can just help out people somehow. I just had a camp, Epilepsy Awareness camp, but the stigma also is so high, hardly any people come. So I just want to start camps, and where people I had about doctors coming, I had friends coming, but I want to hold larger camps where people can come and talk about awareness, because 1 in 26 people have epilepsy. Problem is they don't want to talk about it. They don't
Yes.
want to share. They don't want to come out of the cocoon. I want them to come out and talk and say that yes, we have epilepsy.
Yes.
I want them to come out. I want anybody hearing this. I have a free YouTube channel. I interview people. If you have epilepsy, come and talk to me. And my anybody can note down my number. It's 99-150-40935. Contact me. I'm there for only interviewing epilepsy. And if you have epilepsy, any family members have epilepsy, I am there to interview you. Come out, talk. Make your weakness your strength. You can do it. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है इसमें. There is nothing wrong with you. It is just a small brain disorder. You can talk about it and you can still get a job. People are scared. We will not get married. We will not get a job. People with epilepsy are doing great jobs. They are doing it. And you have people in your office who will help you out even if after a fall. I have friends, I have people who are doing jobs. And even if you don't want to do a job, there's so many opportunities you can work from home. I'm working from home. I help my staff. I help people book their tickets. I make PAN cards. I make Aadhaar cards. कितना कुछ आप कर सकते हो. There's so much you can do. Don't think yourself, हाय मैं बीमार हूं, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती. आप बीमार नहीं हो. If you're educated enough to be on social media, on Instagram, you have internet, you can do anything. The world is at your feet. You can help the poor. I take out 10th class certificates for the poor. I take out 12th class. People who are healthy, they do not know what to do. Even if you just have seizure once in a while, but you are healthy enough to help the poor. So help people. So help out. There's so much you can do for the others. थोड़ा सा है ना एपिलेप्सी, आपको कोई बात नहीं. आप कितना कुछ कर सकते हो कितने लोगों के लिए. घर बैठ के करो. अगर आपको बाहर जाने का, आई नो मुझे भी डर होता है, बाहर चले गए मुझे सीजर हो जाएगा. आई हैव दिस फियर. मोस्ट ऑफ अस एपिलेप्सी वॉरियर्स हैव दिस फियर. सो आई सिट एट होम. किसी ने बोला मैम मेरा 10th का एरर निकल आया है, 12th का. मैं अपना इंटरनेट खोल के, पीपल आस्क मी डू यू चार्ज देम. आई सेड नो, आई जस्ट फील हैप्पी हेल्पिंग. What is there to charge? God has blessed me with enough. So this is my goal. My daughter, people keep asking me, why don't you leave India and go to your daughter? I said, my country needs me. My warriors need me. This is how you can help. So you were asking my future goals. This is my purpose of life. My purpose of life is to try and reach as many people, as many warriors, as many families I can. I'm not a counselor, but if people want to talk to me, I'm there. So through your podcast, through your this thing, I hope I can reach out to as many people. They want to talk to me, I'm there.
That brings us to the end of this podcast. And again, I would like to thank you, Preeti ji, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. Thank you for being with
Thank you,
us
Falguni.
today
Thank you.
and sharing your experience. Your strength and your determination to empower people is truly amazing, and I'm really grateful for having the opportunity to speak with you today. To all the
And
epilepsy warriors, yes,
we have to say Jai Hind. We have to say Jai Hind in the end.
sure. Before that, I would just like to leave a message for all the epilepsy warriors out there that we see you, we hear you, and we stand with you. Living with epilepsy can be a difficult and isolating experience, but always remember that you're not alone. Your strength and resilience is truly remarkable and an inspiration for all of us. So keep fighting the good fight and keep advocating for yourself and others. Because together we can make a difference and create a world where epilepsy is better understood and better supported. Thank you for listening and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, Falguni. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or simply give it a thumbs up. To catch all the upcoming episodes, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, and until next time.